Hello, everybody. It is myself, Xeric, joined with WX Fan, and today we have a wonderful matchup. Today we have the Sappers versus the Arctic Assassins. This is going to be a pretty good matchup today, don't you think?
It's going to be a great matchup. And is it Zurich, greatest Rocket League player of all time? Should I just refer to you as GOATed?
I mean, you can't do that, but it is Xeric.
Zurich. All right. So first things first, we got to address the squishy top of my head. My wife just comes into the office with just a giant smile on her face and just hands me the squishy. I'm like, would you like me to wear this on camera? She just goes and shakes her head up and down. So special guest considering my wife's squishy toy. I think this thing is cute and adorable, but what is not going to be cute and adorable is this battle, because this is going to be hard-hitting and absolutely brutal. And let's just talk about some of the stats heading into this game. The Arctic Assassins come into this at 20 points with 9 wins and 6 losses. Interestingly enough, and Xeric, this is going to be a very interesting division because you've got Arctic Assassins, Hammerheads, and 3 Rocketeers heading into week number 6. 2 tied for the top, and 1 with 1 point right behind. So some interesting stats here. The Arctic Assassins have scored the most goals of anyone in their division with 50 goals, 38 assists, and 60 saves. 124 shots on goal, and 38 demos. Now on the flip side, the Sappers have the second most points heading into this week in the entire QRLS. And why don't you go ahead and point out the stat that you were kind of telling me about, and now you had to look at the stat sheet to believe it.
The biggest stat to look at with the Sappers in the stat sheet is the amount of demos that they put out and the demos per game. They're putting out at least a minimum of 7 demos per game, pushing 8 sometimes, but they have 111 demos so far. Now,
think about that. 111 demos in 5 weeks.
5 games, 111 demos. That's not normal at all.
Nope. No, it's not.
But
so go ahead.
A bit of bigger news, actually, though, is one of the players on the Sappers, Reserve Wolf, is 7 points away, or 7 demos away, I believe, from breaking the record. Our producer will tell me if I'm off on that or if that's the exact number. But
sounds about right.
We have a little bit of a bigger introduction as the captain of the Arctic Assassins, Mr. Penguin, is making his return back to Rocket League after a long break.
Yeah, it's going to be good to see the Penguin back. And we are ready, and we are underway here on the QRL. Arctic Assassins going to be on the blue team. The Sappers on the orange team. And we're going to get this started here because it's going to be pretty fun. You see already the Sappers being super aggressive, already getting in to the blue zone.
Yeah, and by the way, within the first minute of the game, I'm pretty sure Reserve Wolf already got a demo out on the field. So, and there's another one directly on to Mr. Penguin. And as we say that, a goal from Dr. George. An absolute beautiful shot. Top bins as well.
For sure. I'm trying to clear up some lag issues here. Partly because I was having a little bit too much fun trying to download the Rocket League stream update itself, and it wasn't downloading that fast, so that was probably taking up a lot of bandwidth. So our amazing, illustrious producer has done the outstanding due diligence here of streaming the Rocket League game. I will have the overlay on a different screen. But think about this here for a second. We're finally seeing a little aggression here out of the Arctic Assassins here. Back into the orange goal. Penguin looking to shake off the rust. And quite frankly, is rust going to be a problem here? That's what we're going to have to see in this 3-game set.
I mean, it very well could be. It can be an issue of being rusty, but the bigger issue is how well do you prepare coming into the game just to make sure that, you know, the rust isn't an issue. And right now we're seeing a lot more aggression than normally from the Arctic Assassins as they're maintaining the ball inside the Sappers field a good chunk of the time.
A nice potential shot on goal there from the Assassins, but an easy save for the Sappers. I want to see a bit more out of both of these teams. They both feel like they're playing a little timid, and there it is, LR with the opening goal. A little light tapper here we'll see on the replay.
Really quickly, I want to double check who LR is. I believe that's Norm, if I'm not mistaken. I could very well be wrong on that.
Just quite possible. That is for sure.
Great passing play coming out from the side of the Sappers as it's currently just sitting down in the field of Arctic Assassin. Free ball up for Mel. Just decides to pop it as the Arctic Assassins do get a very good clear out. But Dr. George is there for the counterattack. And is a great save by, I believe, Mr. Penguin. Reserve Wolf going to try and maintain possession of this ball. It is going to go to the other side of the field as Mel. It's a good shot down, but unfortunately is cleared out by, I believe it's Norm. I can't be sure. The ball is slowly rolling to the net as, unfortunately, Sniper does put it in, and that gives the goal credit to Dr. George. A good clear attempt with a pinch off of... Again, I believe it's Norm. It could very well be Zeusy. I'm not entirely sure.
It is not. So
LR is
we do have update that LR is in fact a sub.
We did not.
So all right. With that being, can you hear me, Zerk?
I can. Kind of.
Excellent. Kind of sort of.
Shot from Mel. Or at least a nice dribble from Mel is going to put the ball right over Penguin. And it is now a 3-1 lead for the Sappers.
Mm-hmm. So we'll see what happens here. But again, Mel doing really well so far. Dr. George.
Oh. His name is so fun to say.
It is. I could have fun with that name the entire stream, but I digress. So Sappers continue their winning ways here. A 3-1 start for the Sappers. We'll go back into the stats here in a little bit. But again, 1:10 here left on the clock. Reserve Wolf. We'll go back to him again. 7 demos away from setting a QRLS record. And you know...
already got 3.
It definitely is something to be said here that this is a strategy of the Sappers that they want to get these 3-on-2 advantages more often than not. Again, it goes by the 111 demos already this season. So that's clearly a strategy. Is it going to pay off come the playoffs? I don't know because teams will have enough time to adapt. But nevertheless, we shall see what happens here as 30 seconds on the clock remains.
Yeah, 30 seconds, there is still quite a bit you can do, but there's not a lot to do if we aren't hitting the ball. That's a big issue right now, is there's a lot of balls just being dropped. And, you know, I will say on your point there too, Reserve Wolf, his entire playstyle is focusing these demos to make sure that his team always has the advantage. As an amazing save from Dr. George. And the ball is still in the air, and as I say that, it does get dropped. The Sappers take the first game, and already Reserve Wolf 6 demos that game.
Always crushing.
One more demo.
Chat, you're going to have to get ready to count that down. I'm just saying. Because we do have one left to go for him. So make sure you all are watching. Get ready to clip it. Because that is going to be something that we're going to want to go over here now. With that being said, let's take a look just overall at... Excuse me. Again, going back to some stats here for the QRLS season, the Sappers themselves. Coming into this week, 11-4 on the season, 8 division wins. I do want to point out their defense. 18 goals against is tied for the best in the league heading into this season with none other than your Cyclones, Zarek, and Clarity United. So they have an elite defense that we've already seen come into play here. Not super crazy on offense, but good enough. Is that going to be enough? Because, again, I mentioned defense. They have 71 saves, which is the most in the QRLS, headed into week number 6. So definitely some stuff to keep an eye on. It seems like Sappers early on seem to be the team to beat, along with Clarity United and your Cyclones, but there's still half a season to go.
Yeah, and I think defense is definitely a big part of the game. As Reserve Wolf gets that demo,
That's it!
Coming out from Mel. That is the demo to get the record, and I know Reserve Wolf is not going to let people forget it. He's going to be constantly being like, yeah, you know who broke the record? Me.
That's another for good measure.
Going for more.
Yeah, that was an 8th for good measure. Clip that, chat. Congratulations, Reserve Wolf, on setting the most demos in a regular season. And on top of that, Mel comes in with the goal. The demo record! Let's go. He had a sign ready! All right. He wants me to do my best, Kevin Harlan. Bang, bang, it's good! There you go.
That right there, that's a record that is not going to easily be broken either. There's not a lot of players that have the play style to suit it, as Mel looks to go for an amazing shot. Unfortunately, does proceed to whiff as Penguin gets a nice shot on goal. A good 50 coming out from reserve, but can that be enough? The boost count not looking the best on the side of the Sappers.
Yeah, this is going to be good. Yeah, this will be good for the Assassins. Take advantage of that boost and get it into the Sappers area. Can they take advantage of it is going to be, quite frankly, the case. So, Zarek, this has been a little back and forth here. What have you seen here to the first minute and a half of Game 2?
I've seen a lot more organization coming out from Arctic Assassins, and as I say that, there's the potential for a goal coming out on Dr. George. But right now, they're playing a lot, I wouldn't say further apart, but they're also not playing closer together. And just as I go to finish my sentence, Mel goes ahead, scores the second goal so far, and an amazing demo from Reserve Wolf. It's what the guy has practiced. It's all I don't want to say it's all he does because he's a good player, but man, does he not hold up?
Yeah, Mel doing great work there. Now, with that being said, you still have to take into account how good the Arctic Assassins are. This is a team that you can not really, I guess, what's the best way to say this?
Underestimate.
Can't underestimate them at all. Again, we've seen how good they've been last season. Yes, we've had roster changes. But still, the Arctic Assassins looking really, really good so far. And with that being said, I need to see more from them. They've looked good this season. Not so far. They've looked very bad so far. But I want to see more from them here. You know, 2 minutes, 23 seconds. is a long time in a Rocket League game.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many different things that can come out of it. A lot of goals can be scored. A lot of things can happen. You can break the demo record, but on top of being a good demoer, he also has the ability to be an amazing closer. Look at these. Look at this. He's just like, I'm not gonna miss it. It's a great pass from Mel. And Mel is putting up some good stats this game already.
That Mel is. So again, 3-0. So they've already tied game 1 in terms of goals.
Another demo.
I feel like I'm missing a little bit of aggression from somebody on the Arctic Assassins. Now, I mentioned it in game 1. How much is game rust going to be a thing? Competitive rust is a legitimate thing. We hear about it in sports and esports. When you come back to a game after a good layoff, you do need to take a bit to get the rust off. And you can prac for, plenty of time. Oh, that was just a lackadaisical goal there by Mel. Little assisted there by the Arctic Assassin's defender. But
and
again,
the hat trick.
Yeah. But, again, take into account competitive rust. And if you've never played competitively, yeah, it's a thing. And Penguin, I hate to say it, but the rust is showing.
Well, unfortunately, it is a bad thing to think about especially when it comes to a player of Penguin stature too.
Of course,
he's well known within the QRLS community, and he's a really good player. But taking that long break from Rocket League, it's definitely having its impact on him.
For sure. Now, let's see how the Arctic Assassins are going to rebound come game 3. Because it's 4-0. I've seen nothing out of the Arctic Assassins that inspire any confidence for them to score 4 quick goals here to tie this up, to send it in overtime. But you just never know. And I want to see a little bit more out of Sniper. Just a little something. I know Sniper's played a lot of defense, and maybe that's just how they're approaching this with the sub this week. But still, I really want to see just a little bit more from the side of the Arctic Assassins' Sniper. Like, your name is Sniper. Can we get a couple snipe shots? Do it for the fans.
Yeah, and with the ball dropping, that is game 2 over. Sappers, looking amazing out there. Reserve Wolf, see 8 more demos. If he didn't get the 7 in game 1, he got an extra 7 in this game. It's absolutely phenomenal to see his play style and how well he actually plays. Because not a lot of people can make a demo play style work. He is one of them.
No, I've never seen a demo play style before. That's been very impressive. But again, we still have 1 more game to go. If you're new to the QRLS, welcome. I'm WXFan21, joined by Zarek on commentary. Joe Papa is our amazing director and producer for this game. And what we do here in the QRLS in the regular season is we play 3-game sets, not best of 3s. So we will have all 3 games played. Come the playoffs, we have a different format because it's playoffs. But we do play all 3 games here. I really want to see a little bit more from the Arctic Assassins. Otherwise, if you're an Arctic Assassins fan, if they can't put up more than 1 goal, because they've put up 1 goal so far in 2 games compared to the Sappers 7, I would really be hesitant, but also be close to hitting that panic button. The Arctic Assassins, I think, have fallen asleep at the wheel here. But game 3 starts now.
And that's the big thing about having a determined amount of games played is always nice to have the mindset of, well, there's always next game. That being said, next game could be right now. Unfortunately, Sniper misses the ball. A double commit coming out from the Arctic Assassins. Reserve Wolf just wanting to gain possession of the ball. Keep it with this team. Dr. George going for a very unprecedented sidewall redirect as they miss the ball and it is just rolling in front of the net. You might have been right with that statement there, WX fan. You very well could be, as another amazing save coming out from Mel.
Yeah, I mean, I think Penguin's finally woken up. He looks a little bit more aggressive in this game, doesn't he?
Yeah, honestly, I will say he does look a little bit more aggressive. And Sniper gets a nice shot from Mel. An amazing save.
Defense.
Penguin gets a good shot as well. Defense is looking good from Sappers.
Sniper actually listen to the commentary team, but that's what happens when you decide to pull your goalie from the net and you get an easy goal. Dr. George says, get out the way, the doctor's in, and, well, this is a PG stream. I can't say what I want to say.
Yeah, let's keep it PG from here on out. We enjoy casting here, and we enjoy keeping our stuff as PG as we can at the QRLS. We don't pride ourselves on other things.
That's correct. What may or may not be said during pre-show, post-show, or offline, we can neither confirm nor deny.
There's something to confirm, but we can deny it just as much, everybody.
Exactly.
Guess what he's doing?
Oh, look.
He's demoing.
He's demoing what else is new. I will say, if there's one thing I think the Sappers need to improve on, and I can't believe I'm saying this, it's ball control and mid-court control. Like, they've had good ball control, but, like, when you see a driver like Kiptero, his ball control is insane. The Sappers have done a good job keeping it in the opponent's zone, but I feel like they're still a little weak at mid-court. What are your thoughts?
I definitely do agree on the fact of they need to work on maintaining possession instead of immediately thinking, oh, let's go up for the ball, or let's immediately start an air dribble. It's like, definitely take the time. You've got a lot more time on the ball than people like to think when it comes to Rocket League. Mm-hmm. Obviously, once you hit like extremely high ranks, you're having like almost little to no possession time at all. But they're also having like 10 times more calculated plays. So in a league like this, you're allowed to have a lot more time than you think.
For sure. I'd like to see anything out of the Assassins. Do a Rocket League. Do something. Throw a cookie at the other team. Throw a banana peel like this is something out of Mario Kart.
I mean, there always is a chance. There's still a minute 50 left on the clock, but there's not a lot they can do when they're just being targeted immediately by Reserve Wolf the second they even look at the ball.
Yeah. This is also something interesting from the Sappers, and I want you all to kind of keep this in mind. Look at how good they are about keeping the ball in their opponent's zone. Again, if you have that mid-court control, you can afford to go a little bit further back. But they've done an outstanding job about keeping it in the opponent's zone and then keeping up the pressure. And then again, you have the demo guy, Reserve, who's just going in and causing trouble. And it makes it really difficult to clear the ball out of your own zone. And the Sappers, dangerous strategy in my opinion, but one so far this season that's working out for them. But it's definitely something that, you know, teams get enough film on you. They can anti-strat that out. And here comes LR. Finally with some shots. Lack shot. No boost whatsoever on that shot. But oh, look. It's the Doctor. Nice control. Trying to set things up, but no teammate there. Doing a great job about keeping it in front of the net. And a beautiful clear out from LR, but the doctor says you can try clearing it, but I got a prescription for you. And it's certainly not some more cowbell. It's more goals in the net. Watch this from Mel. Oh, that would have been a stylistic goal. I think Mel got a little confident there. You can see the smile on the camera. There's Zerk.
I mean, this is a phenomenal masterclass with the demos coming out from Reserve Wolf. But on top of Reserve Wolf, just overall being a good player, I really desperately want to point to Mel as well and Dr. George. They are the ones. So the best way for me to put it is Reserve Wolf, chase. Get anyone who gets in your way, get them out of here.
Correct. I mean, this has been a clinic by the Sappers. The return of Penguin, who the rust has shown, but also having a sub in, unfortunately, this week just didn't lead to anything great for them. But there's always next week. They're still fighting. That division in and of itself is going to be a fun finish. But Reserve Wolf with, I'm trying to put this together, 26 demos in this 3-game set. 26 demos.
Yeah, he so Reserve Wolf, if I'm not mistaken, has now beaten the seasonal demo record, but has now also beaten the weekly demo record with 26 demos in a season or in a match.
Do you even Rocket League, bro? And with that being said, wait a minute. Let's just. I also want to just put this into perspective. Reserve Wolf in one game had 11 demolitions. That's more demos than Sappers had goals in 3 games.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a 9-1 3-game set in favor of the Sappers. Get the brooms out. The Assassins have been swept. Zarek, final thoughts from you before we go ahead and head on out of here.
All I gotta say is that this is going to be probably one of the greatest seasons that we've had in the QRLS, or that even I've been a part of. I've been a part of an extra season. I was here season 9. But season 10, with the playstyle that the Reserve Wolf has, as well as changes to rosters being made, the skill ceiling of this is just going to be absolutely intense.
For sure. There we go. Now we got that back on. All right. With that being said, greatly appreciate every single one of you being here. For Zarek, for Joe Papa, for Squishy, and for myself, WXFan21. I believe that's going to be it for today. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we still have one matchup this week. Actually, we got a couple. 2 on Saturday, and then at 8 p.m. Eastern, it's going to be the Bleacher Boys.